Four Star Trek legacy characters in Starfleet Academy explain the upcoming Star Trek. Starfleet Academy welcomes four legacy characters from past Star Trek series to its cast. Set in the 32nd century, Star Trek Starfleet Academy is a spin-off of Star Trek Discovery that includes Star Trek Lower Decks' Tawny Newsome as a writer. The new Star Trek series will follow new cadets and instructors as they rebuild Starfleet Academy after the burn decimated the United Federation of Planets in the 31st century. Naturally, Star Trek Discovery characters were expected to be part of Star Trek Starfleet Academy, but none were named in Starfleet Academy's first casting announcements. Instead, Star Trek Starfleet Academy built hype for new fans by announcing award-winning actors Holly Hunter as the Academy's Chancellor and Captain, and Paul Giamatti as Starfleet Academy's villain. More recent announcements named Karis Brooks, Bella Shepard, George Hawkins, Kareem Diane, and Zoe Steiner as the Academy cadets that Star Trek's first YA series focuses on. San Diego Comic-Con Star Trek panel finally confirmed that there will be characters from Star Trek Discovery in Starfleet Academy after all, as well as one unexpected Star Trek Voyager alumnus. Mary Wiseman as Lt. Sylvia Tilly. It's no surprise that Mary Wiseman will return as Star Trek Discovery's Lieutenant Sylvia Tilly in Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Tilly left the USS Discovery to pursue a career as a Starfleet Academy instructor in Star Trek Discovery Season 4, which naturally set Tilly up to join the Starfleet Academy series. No doubt Tilly will be our introduction to Star Trek Starfleet Academy as a character that we're already familiar with, and as someone whose own journey from cadet to instructor can be a blueprint for the potential character arcs of Starfleet Academy's young students. Star Trek Starfleet Academy is going to be a great fit for Sylvia Tilly, who is at her best when allowed to guide others. Tilly's aptitude for bringing disparate people together is first demonstrated in Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Episode 4, All Is Possible, when Academy cadets who neither knew nor liked each other much have to survive a crash landing on a hostile moon by cooperating. After continuing to mentor Ensign Adira Tall, Blue Del Barrio, Tilly ends Discovery spearheading a mentorship program at the Academy, inspired by Adira as well as Captain Michael Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green, and Commander Rayner, Callum Keith Rennie. Oded Fair as Admiral Charles Vance. Oded Fair as Admiral Charles Vance is a welcome addition to the cast of Star Trek Starfleet Academy. Fair's Admiral Vance gained popularity in Star Trek Discovery as a Starfleet flag officer who defies the unfortunate trope of Star Trek admirals being badmirals. Instead of being antagonistic simply because the plot needs a force for Starfleet captains to push against, Vance is driven by his protective nature and desire to hold Starfleet together. As the Commander-in-Chief of Starfleet, Admiral Vance is likely to have a strong influence on Starfleet Academy's policies, which could provide some healthy friction with Holly Hunter's Chancellor or other Academy higher-ups. Admiral Vance is also likely to be Lieutenant Tilly's ally at Federation HQ, should the need for one ever arise. In Star Trek Discovery Season 4, Vance and Tilly became friends while working together to fend off the pending threat of the dark matter anomaly, and nearly faced their deaths together. That bond meant Vance was willing to trust Tilly with sensitive information in Star Trek Discovery Season 5, and is likely to do so again in Star Trek Starfleet Academy. To Tig Notaro as Commander Jet Reno. It's great that Tig Notaro's Commander Jet Reno is coming back to Star Trek. Star Trek Starfleet Academy will offer more opportunities for the fan-favorite Commander Jet Reno to turn up, especially since Star Trek Discovery often underutilized Reno. After the USS Discovery rescued Commander Reno from the wreckage of the USS Hiawatha in Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Reno became one of Discovery's engineers and occasionally popped up to lighten the mood or provide an out-of-the-box solution. Like Lieutenant Tilly, Commander Reno is originally from the 23rd century and stayed with the USS Discovery crew when Commander Michael Burnham orchestrated Discovery's jump to the future. What Commander Reno will be doing on Star Trek Starfleet Academy hasn't yet been confirmed, but it almost doesn't matter. More of Tig Notaro in Star Trek is never a bad thing, and Reno will almost certainly integrate really easily with a lighter atmosphere that Star Trek Starfleet Academy promises. After the USS Discovery kept coming up against life and death situations of galactic proportions, Commander Reno could decide she's done with all of that and start working at the Academy instead. Robert Picardo as the Doctor. The most surprising choice of Star Trek legacy characters in Star Trek Starfleet Academy is Robert Picardo as Star Trek Voyager's Doctor. It's possible this version of the Doctor will be related to the backup version of the Doctor's program from Star Trek Voyager Season 4, Episode 23, Living Witness, which sees the Doctor reactivated 700 years in the future to give a first-hand account of the USS Voyager's involvement in a conflict between two neighboring species, the Kyrians and Vaskins. This places the Doctor in the 31st century, very close to the time of the burn, and about 100 years before Star Trek Starfleet Academy. The capability of the USS Voyager's EMH to go beyond his initial programming means the Doctor could be teaching any number of subjects at Starfleet Academy. History, command training, holographic ethics, and even music appreciation are all possible areas of expertise for the multifaceted Doctor. Medicine is, of course, the obvious choice, because the Doctor continued to practice medicine for the Kyrians and Vaskins before charting a path back to the Alpha Quadrant in Living Witness. It'll be interesting to see if the burn affected the Doctor's journey to Federation headquarters, if Star Trek Starfleet Academy is, in fact, picking up this loose end from Star Trek Voyager. With these legacy Star Trek characters, the cast of Star Trek Starfleet Academy has characters from each of Star Trek's main storytelling eras, effectively tying the whole franchise together in a single show. Perhaps the inclusion of these 4 legacy Star Trek characters will even inspire new fans who are introduced to Star Trek through Starfleet Academy to check out Star Trek Discovery and Star Trek Voyager. Either way, the knowledge and experience from such a breadth of characters can really only benefit the next generation of cadets in Star Trek Starfleet Academy, who will go on to shape the future of Star Trek's 32nd and 33rd centuries. New Star Trek Lower Decks series announced at SDCC, with returning writer Ryan North at this year's San Diego Comic-Con. IDW announced a new Star Trek Lower Decks ongoing, with returning writer Ryan North. North will be joined for the book's debut story by artist Derek Charm. The duo previously worked on the Eisner-nominated Star Trek Day of Blood, Shax's Best Day one-shot. North is no stranger to the world of Lower Decks either, having written 2022's miniseries based on the cartoon. As reported on the official Star Trek website, IDW announced Star Trek Lower Decks at 2024 San Diego Comic-Con. The book will feature North as a regular writer, with a new artist for each story. Derek Charm will draw Lower Decks' first story. In addition to the aforementioned Shax's Best Day, North and Charm worked on the unbeatable Squirrel Girl for Marvel. IDW did not announce any plot details for the book or subsequent artists. Star Trek Lower Decks broke the mold for Trek shows. While it is not the first animated Star Trek show, it is the first to take a more irreverent approach to the franchise. Lower Decks regularly skewers Star Trek tropes, but simultaneously upholds the values baked deep into the franchise. This mixture of crass and wholesome has endeared Star Trek Lower Decks to fans and critics. Unfortunately, Paramount has ended Lower Decks, and its upcoming 5th season will be its last. However, fans left wanting will be able to get their Lower Decks fix via IDW. Ryan North previously worked on IDW's Lower Decks miniseries from 2022. Working with artist Chris Fenoglio, who provides a variant for the first issue of the ongoing, North proved that Lower Decks can thrive in comics' form. It perfectly captured Lower Decks' iconoclastic approach to the franchise, as did Shax's Best Day. In addition to the forthcoming Lower Decks ongoing, IDW will also release Warp Your Own Way, also starring the Cerritoses,